Hello everyone, we're back from the FanStands with another video. Today it's just me and Mohsin again. We're again missing Dayan. Uh, it's personal issues that have come up again.
I can understand because the way United lost again, so it's evident
Yeah,
that he wasn't going to come.
yeah, it might be that. It might be that. So coming to the main point of this video, so I believe last week's results have more or less sealed the case for Liverpool being the champions for the 1920 season, EPL champions. Finally, Liverpool have won after a very long time.
I'm smiling, even as soon as the video started. I'm very happy to, finally beat Manchester United. It was Jurgen Klopp's first win against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and
Yeah.
it was his first visit to Anfield. And what a way to welcome him and give him a very good sending off by getting 3 points from Manchester United. But Hassan, yes, to be honest, we're almost there. We're almost there. Yes, one might argue that Liverpool are there. Okay,
Yeah.
but still, like Jurgen Klopp said that the fans can and might celebrate, but I won't. Mathematically, there's is still
I believe there is a chance.
it is
but
theirs to lose.
but
It is theirs to lose.
it's-
This is summit
the
that way, in a
probability
very
of that
simplest way.
happening is,
It
but
is
especially-
very less. It is very less.
Yeah.
But to be honest, and no disrespect to all the other teams, but the next fixtures are quite winnable.
yeah.
I don't see any very tough fixtures. I mean, anything can happen. It's football. But now what I would like to see is I'll be greedy. I would like to see somehow. I hope it is still something very impossible. It is possible, in fact, but very difficult. That I want the invincible season to happen.
Yeah, and do you want one more thing about that invincible season? I believe there were a lot of draws for Arsenal as well in that. But for Liverpool this season, I believe it's been just one draw and all of them have been wins. So
Wow,
you guys are on track to even beat the Invincibles.
That is amazing. At the moment, we are on track, but let's assume that in game week 30, it is confirmed they won the title. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe the Champions League is also there.
yeah,
So not sure. I mean, it'll be tough. I was speaking with a Liverpool fan yesterday. I mean, what if you're in the lateral stages of the Champions League? You won the league. What would Jurgen Klopp do? What would he go for? Would he try to go for an invincible season? Would he also focus on the Champions League because he has to, proceed with some rotation policy
yeah, and
like
also,
he does in cup ties?
yeah, and also you have to take into account the other teams as well.
Yeah.
The other teams might be facing pressure for relegations, for Champions League positions, for
Definitely.
Europa League positions,
Definitely.
and also they might not be in those cup ties anymore, so they might have a more rested side.
Definitely that will happen, and that is somewhere I don't mind the draws. See, at times when we've gone away to Palace or when we're playing away to Spurs, and I've often said that I don't mind a draw as long as it's not a defeat, because at that time a loss would wouldn't actually exert much pressure, to be honest, but still that would give somewhat hope to the runners up.
Yeah,
But you have to admit luck plays a very important role. I mean, at the same time, City again dropped points
yes,
and Leicester lost,
yes,
surprisingly,
yeah, to Burnley.
to Burnley. So, apart from Liverpool, all the other teams, they're in it for those other top three spots in from second to fourth position.
Yes, they're pretty close.
So, a draw can come, a loss can even come, and maybe after they've won the title, they've confirmed they might relax. But let's see what happens.
So first, let's come to the match. I believe we all saw the match. The scoreline says 2-0, and if you look at the match and if you look at the highlights as well, there were times where Liverpool, just outclassed Manchester United, and a couple of goals were disallowed, and other than that, there were a few chances on either side, but a few of those which fell to Liverpool, they should have buried.
So Liverpool should have finished the game off. I mean, 2-0, it could have been more than that.
Yeah.
Could have been more than that even in the first half. But then again, even United had two brilliant chances. One missed by Pereira. Although I don't know I think Van Bissaka was offside, but all the replays. I haven't seen a proper replay where it shows that whether he was on or off. But still, that was a chance for Pereira who missed. And Martial had one very good chance in the second half. He could have equalized, but he had a wild shot right in front of goal and it flew over Alisson.
Yeah.
Did not even make Alisson move. I mean, he didn't break a sweat. He wasn't tested to the extent that you can say that United were very close. I mean, apart from these two chances, there were some nervy moments.
Yeah,
right?
United was, you can say, not the best in front of goal.
Not the best in front of the
shot,
goal.
They
Definitely.
made shots that were, wide.
Definitely wide. They did look threatening. I mean, in the last 10 minutes of the first half, even the last 15 minutes of the second half, right before the end of the match, there were nervy moments. As a Liverpool fan, I was very nervous because
it was still 1-0.
Yeah, it was still 1-0. You could feel, somehow United can, get a draw.
Yeah, it could have been, the similar thing would happen at Old Trafford. At that time United was playing really well and Liverpool still turned out a draw.
But Liverpool was different. I think Klopp, I'm not saying because I'm a fan, but of the club, but even as a fan of the manager, he's a genius. This time, if you see, Liverpool came out with a different approach rather than their, the fluid passing football they play. They were playing a couple of times, looking for long balls, which I think wasn't working too much. But as soon as they got the first goal, when Van Dijk scored, he outjumped Maguire.
No, Maguire was not marking him actually. It was Fred.
Fred, okay, well, but they missed to contain him, and he scored. And he's not the captain, but he's a leader in that defense, and he's very vocal. And once he got the goal, I was confident, and I expected more to come. Mane for me was a bit poor. I think he should have scored at least 2 goals. Even Salah could have got
he missed a sitter.
He missed a sitter, but that was luck. And Henderson also struck the post.
Yeah.
So I think there was no. You can say that even if United had taken the chance, if you see, even if Liverpool had taken the chances, United had converted. I mean, the scoreline still would have been 5-2 or 4-2, something like that. So that shows that Liverpool played well.
You can't really say that because if United had scored, United might have had a real push up or something.
But Liverpool made a lot of chances, like half chances before.
Yeah.
And yes, but this is a matter of ifs and buts, and it doesn't work that way. But I would like to say one thing, Hassan. Honestly, I think United have played well. I mean, that second goal came right at the end.
Right at the end.
Otherwise, it was only 1-0, and United was. We all of us should realize that a lot of United fans and other rival fans are jumping the ship, and they're blaming the manager. But we have to realize that United are still missing a couple of key players.
Yeah, the squad right now isn't the best, and our highest scorer just got injured right before the match. Our main midfielders are injured. Our current midfielder who was playing the match or who was then substituted was not really firing. Mata came forward.
And even Luke Shaw, I think, had a cramp or something.
Yeah.
Pereira, I think the hand was always right. He hasn't showed.
Yeah, he's showing glimpses, but Mata is still head and shoulders above
but
it.
Mata is not getting any younger, and United has not addressed this issue. Like I mentioned,
they haven't really signed up.
I mentioned this before the Norwich match, where I thought Norwich might come with an upset, but United played very well, won 4-0 away. At home. They're looking for a striker after Rashford has got injured. I mean, you should have got a striker when you sold Lukaku and Sanchez.
Yeah, but yes, that is true. But they really stressed on the academy players to come up and perform, and the academy players did come and perform.
If you think the academy players will perform,
win your title in the first season,
I mean, you cannot expect them to do well. I mean, I realize. I think Dayan is right that you must see that the squad is not good, but still they're in a position that they can at least compete
for the top
for that fourth position.
Yes.
And this was a good, not exactly a very good opportunity. I mean, you're facing Liverpool, who are the champions of Europe right now, World Club champion winners, and almost about to be announced the champions of England if all goes well. And
If World War III doesn't break out.
yeah, I hope it doesn't.
It doesn't look like it.
Luck is on our side. So the thing is, Hassan, see, Chelsea lost to Newcastle. We'll come to that later on. But, often Chelsea has not been a very good team. I mean, they've also lost 8 matches this season so far. United has not capitalized. The problem is, 1 week, they give you so much hope that you think, okay, we're back, and Ollie's, bringing back the United way. The other week, they play in such a way that you're utterly disappointed, and there are different voices coming out from different places.
Yeah.
Some want the board to be changed, the owners to be changed, the manager to be changed, the players to be changed. I mean, different voices coming out.
One thing I'd say is that I was looking at the statistics for this, and the United bad performances have been coming up after they've played a midweek match. So I believe fatigue is one of the major reasons,
Fatigue is
because
definitely,
they don't really have that huge squad.
they don't have that depth, and I think that's what I'm saying. I mean, you realized you need a striker after Rashford has got injured.
Yeah.
I mean, you should always. I know this is the same thing I was worried about Liverpool as well. If you remember at the start. I used to say that what if this player is injured, what will happen? Yes, they are looking to bring in reinforcement, but I think there are some issues that the board similar. They don't want to spend too much again. They've spent, and they feel they've given Klopp enough resources. Klopp was smart, and he at least got Minamino so that he can give some cushion to that front.
Yeah, but the thing is, Woodward and the United board still feels that Ole has enough resources,
that is different. I think when Dayan will be here, he's the expert on Manchester United, and we'll have a discussion on that.
Yes.
And if you talk about the match, tactically, if you talk about tactics, then I'll just try to be very brief. Just adding this for our viewers that like I was saying, that Klopp had done his homework, and this time what they did was Hassan Henderson is playing in place of Fabinho. By the way, Fabinho also returned.
Yeah.
Good news for Liverpool. So made good substitutions at the end. He knew 1-0 was enough. He's changed his style a bit. Rather than going for his heavy metal or rock star style football, he's toned down, mellowed down his team. A 1-0 win would do. It's not unlike the past seasons where he was just looking to score and all out.
Yeah,
and just
last season Liverpool was
was ruthless in scoring, but this time he's changed. He's become more wiser, smart. He just wants results. He just wants to churn out 3 points rather than it doesn't matter how they win, but he just wants that title, okay, very badly. So Henderson, he falls back to support that defense unit of Van Dijk and Gomez, who's
performed really well.
And then someone from the fullbacks, if either Arnold was going from the right or Robertson from the left, one decided to stay back. And they were trying to utilize James to try and exploit that side, but there was always someone from the centre back, most of the times from Van Dijk, who knew that he has to block James and mark him. Yeah,
because Rashford was missing, so the attack was only coming.
The attack was weak, and Pereira was obviously was luring in. When Henderson had the ball, he was dropping deep, luring Pereira in, so giving more space to the midfield of Liverpool, and Henderson could pass it around. And then, if you talk about the front three, Firmino also drops back, so he was luring either Lindelof or Maguire at times with him, which gave Mane and Salah to come a bit inside. And when one of them had the ball, they were passing it to each other. So, he did his homework. Oli also had a plan. Klopp went with his 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Oli went with, I think it was a 4-3-2. Surprisingly, Shaw was playing as a centre back, but I think he's returning from injury. He's not near to his best right now.
Yeah.
So I think Van Bissaka going in front, he was actually one of he played well. He's good, but I think he was someone United was targeting. Liverpool was targeting. From that left side.
The right side of United, both James and Van Bissaka were on that side, so they were really sure of that side.
The right side, sorry, yeah. Yeah, see, he did his homework. I think he knew James was a threat because James was the one who created that goal at Old Trafford. And we said before the video, I think you have to stop him because he's someone with pace. But on United's behalf, I think Fred played well.
Yes.
He looks like an improved player, and he was he was having good runs against
The midfield
and Arnold as well.
He took a few shots.
He took a few shots as well, and Martial he's a good player. You can see from his feet he's a good player, but he's been injured often, so he needs to find his feet again. And he's, like I've said before, he's a 30 plus striker. I mean 30 plus in the sense of goals.
Yeah.
So this guy can give you goals, but you need
somebody to give him the ball.
Give him the ball, and you need to make a team around him, which at the moment is not possible.
Yeah. I agree with you on a lot of those points. So let's move on from the match. Now let's move on to the other Champions League positions, and let's move on to the second and third position, which is Manchester City, and right now, and third is Leicester. So recently, as you know, Leicester has started. Let's talk about Leicester first. Leicester has started, losing a lot of ground recently. They have lost 2 of their last recent matches, to Southampton last week and this week to Burnley. Both the times they led first and then they conceded again. So, as we've talked about this before, being their defense an issue, but what do you think is the main reason?
I think the main issue, rather than the issue, I think credit to Burnley for this one. I saw the match, and Burnley was playing like their old selves. They found, I think this was the match where Sean Dyche, the Burnley manager, found his old style back. He saw his team play the old way, the Burnley way, the way we know them. And they were at home at Turf Moor, and not an easy place to visit. But if you remember, we discussed a couple of weeks earlier that
when
Chelsea was going, they won, and a lot of teams, the big teams were going, and they were winning without any difficulties.
Yeah.
So Burnley did well, credit to them. Sorry, and I think Nick Pope, Burnley's goalkeeper,
he was the man
of the match.
He made a couple
He stopped a penalty as well of Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy's dip in form. I mean, he's a very good striker. He'll come back. I still believe he'll come back. He's not giving me points in my fantasy team.
Yeah, it's not a dip in form per se. The problem was in the midfield. Burnley was playing well. They weren't really allowing
Burnley was playing
for the pass to Vardy, and Vardy only had, other than that penalty, he only had, I believe, one sighted goal in which he took a shot, and Pope saved it with his face.
With very good save by Pope. And he was up to that battle against Vardy that day.
Yeah.
And I think few regulars were on the bench for this one. Tielemans, a very good midfielder.
Yeah. When he came on, the match.
Yeah, the match changed, but he couldn't influence the win from that. And he was the one who scored the winner against Burnley in the reverse fixture at King Power Stadium when Leicester was playing one at home against Burnley. So. A couple of players weren't there. Dennis Pratt, a Belgian midfielder. I mean, yes, he was also injured for a long period of time. He needs some time to adjust.
And he had a very good opportunity during the game that he could not.
Yeah, he missed his chance. So I think I think it's a moment of testing time. Sorry for Brendan Rodgers. Young team in the sense you did not expect them to be there. And the pressure is on them now. The weight of expectations have increased because now they have to ensure that somehow they can get a good run of 5-10 matches. Maybe 10 might be a lot, but they can't do it. They've done it before.
Yeah.
So at least 5, 6, 7 matches, winnings, get a winning streak.
Yeah,
ensure that you do not fall below your current position right now.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go between third and fourth.
Chelsea. There is, but
one more thing. During the game, Leicester looked, if not for a win, it looked for a draw. The second goal, which came for Burnley, came again through a defensive mistake.
Yeah, Westwood got the ball, and all he had to do was just shoot it and place it.
Evans
and Schmeichel couldn't save it. I mean, it was right. Right. I mean, a low shot towards his right. Even if he had dived, he couldn't stop it.
Definitely.
It was very far.
And one more thing, Chilwell was not playing this game. Fuchs was playing.
Yeah, Fuchs was playing experienced, but then again old, and
Yeah.
he was part of the title-winning squad from
Originally.
Leicester. But definitely he's old, so
It's sort of like the same thing. It's either too old or same thing like there is it's either too old or it's too young. You can't
yeah.
expect
The
too
thing
much.
is, the squad depth is not there, and I don't see Leicester making much transfer movements right now.
Hmm.
So obviously, when if they get that Champions League spot, which I think they
They
will, and
should.
I hope I hope they do.
Hmm.
So they have to spend, and Rodgers is not someone who might go for big names.
Hmm.
Do not expect big names right away to join Leicester, but he's smart. He knows the type of players he needs to get in the club, and inject in his squad to increase his depth. Because when Champions League football, if you reach there, that only increases the number of matches you play
Yes.
in a season.
Yeah, it might give you more money, but it increases game time as well.
Yeah, increase game time, and then again, good point, Hassan, that it also brings the revenue with you, and which you can use in the transfer market.
Yeah, and it attracts players as well.
It attracts players, but then again, I said because they have to reach that spot consistently
Yes.
to be known as a team. Okay, Leicester is a club who's consistently reaching the Champions League, so it is a club I can play
Yeah,
for.
because I believe after their title-winning season, they didn't even finish in the top 10.
No, they didn't, because a lot of issues. I mean, Ranieri got the sack.
Yeah.
Some issues in the dressing board and dressing room, sorry, and they lost Kante, one of the best
Kante
players,
and Mahrez.
Mahrez had no longer the intention and the heart to play for the club.
Yeah.
Although credit to Vardy, he's been there, and he rejected a move. I think he had chances to move to Arsenal, but he said no, and he's continuing to play very well for Leicester. He's a Leicester legend already, I think.
I believe. All right, so now let's move on to City. City played to a close draw with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace scored first, then City came back, and then right at the end, Zaha pulled out a magical technique, and it was a
baller, man. He's a baller.
yeah, but
That's why Palace wants 80 million for Zaha.
Yeah, but I must say, other than that final move, Zaha didn't really do much in the game.
Then again, I'll contradict my point. That is why no one wants to pay 80 million for Zaha.
Yeah, because he can do the phenomenal, but he doesn't really do it much.
He's a very skillful player, Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah.
I don't remember, 3-4 years ago, I think Benteke or someone said that, if Zaha was, I remember someone said that, he's as skillful as Neymar, but he doesn't get that credit he deserves. But everyone has their own opinion. That is.
I think what happened with him was that United move where he just played 2 games for United. That hit him really hard in the head, and he lost a few years mentally. That's why.
Maybe, and he wanted. There were rumors that he was going to go back, and he wanted to leave the club.
Again.
Somehow Palace,
considered him.
Some say that he was forced to stay against his will, and he's just. But you need to perform so that people will be willing to pay whatever amount they can to get your signature.
Yeah.
And clubs, they will not always spend 80 more than 50 million for each and every one.
Yeah.
So you have to perform to get your valuation very high, so that clubs will pay for a price tag.
Yeah. So coming back to the match, the first goal was, I believe, done by a new player for signing Tosun.
Cenk Tosun.
He signed
Hassan. He's a Turkish striker. He was in Everton, and even I wasn't aware that he had joined Palace unless I saw the scoreline. And when I tuned, he scored, and I was surprised. Wow, he's moved to Palace.
Yeah, he actually scored twice. The second one was, I believe, in my personal opinion, was not even looked at properly and was disallowed for no reason at all.
Oh, VAR is...
The VAR check didn't even happen.
They didn't use VAR, sorry.
Yeah, because but the thing is, if you saw the second goal, which was disallowed, Tosun got the ball from a breakaway, and immediately after the first goal, and Fernandinho just crossed in front of him, and Tosun went to the right, and Fernandinho fell.
Okay.
And he then dodged the keeper and scored. But the referee blew the whistle before and gave a foul. But a few moments ago, right before the first goal, a similar thing happened right in the penalty box. for Palace, and Fernandinho crossed and the Palace player went like this, and there was no foul. So how can this one be a foul and the other be not a
the
foul?
refereeing standards are in question this season, heavily
Yeah.
questionable this season, and the VAR is there, but questionable. Sometimes it's used, sometimes it's not, and even when it's used, it doesn't give you the desired results.
Yeah, I believe this week, other than the Liverpool and United match, it wasn't really used much. They were, I think they've changed the ruling a bit, and they've started using it
Yeah,
less.
there are a lot of. If you talk about Liverpool United, I just briefly touching upon it. I think it was a foul.
Yeah,
But
and it was an offside as well, both of them.
I don't know why. A lot of. I don't know. Maybe everyone has their debates. I mean, let's leave it to the fans to decide what their opinion is on that. So, and yes, we're talking about coming back to the City and Palace match.
Yeah.
So yes, they were leading Palace, but right at the end, in the 88th minute, after the 80th minute, I mean, Aguero scored two good goals.
Yeah.
But an own goal by Fernandinho at the end, and I mean that's what it states.
Yeah,
an
but,
own goal by Fernandinho.
Even if Fernandinho wouldn't have been there, the striker's foot was right next to him.
So I mean, points dropped for City again, and somehow problem with Guardiola this season has been he's failed to win more. I think 3 consecutive matches or more than 3 consecutive matches. So very unlike of City.
Yeah, that is what basically hided the title.
That is what
Liverpool.
Yeah,
it's been City that has lacked. Liverpool has been played really well, but City that has lacked.
But still interesting, how City will approach, how they will try to play against Liverpool when they meet at the Etihad later on this season.
Yeah, that too as well, and they have to, now I believe look at the other championships that they're in.
Yeah,
they have come again, although they're leading already against United. They're still in the FA Cup, I believe, and they have in the Champions League
Real Madrid, very big
yeah.
match, and we'll make a video on that, separate video, and I'm looking forward to it. That is my tie to watch Guardiola against Zidane and the old rival club, because Guardiola is pulling through Catalan from Barcelona, so going against rivals Real Madrid, interesting.
Yeah,
but they have to spend in the transfer. I mean, the defense is very shaky again. Fernandinho.
Yeah, he's a stopgap only. He can't. He's not a full-time.
Not a full-time defender. It's hats off that he's willing to play. He's raised his hand. Okay, I'll play in that position. But problem is that Stones is not being offered a new contract, and then Otamendi is often on the bench. So he needs.
And Laporte is still injured.
Laporte is injured, so they need some signings there. They definitely do need signings.
Yeah, and going forward, on the attacking end, I believe the substitutions played really well. The match really changed when Jesus came on and Aguero got a little bit,
support
that formation change and everything.
Change of formation, obviously helping hand in attack when they come in. So Aguero have to realize he's an excellent striker, but
David Silva was substituted.
Yeah, David Silva, Aguero, David Silva's probably his last season. Aguero's not getting younger anymore, so he needs. Cannot expect him to perform at the levels he has done.
Yeah, I think
consistently for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, I think now he's the fourth highest scorer.
Yeah, he is, and I think give him a couple of more seasons, he can lead that chart.
Yeah, it would be difficult, but I believe he still can do.
Alan
Shearer's record is still up for grabs.
Amazing record, Alan Shearer. I don't know how he did it, but still
He played for a very long time.
Still standing.
And for Newcastle mostly.
If Ronaldo was there,
if Real Madrid's Ronaldo was there, not the Manchester United.
He changed, when he became a goal scorer, he moved to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So if you had that Ronaldo in the Premier League, he would have broken that easily.
Even Messi would have. But Alan Shearer, to his credit, played for Blackburn Rovers, and although they were champions at the time, then he played for Newcastle for the entire rest of his career, and still scored so many goals.
He was, a legend and someone who led Newcastle from the front.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, couldn't win a lot of trophies, but legend of the game, especially the Premier League.
Definitely. Alright, so I guess it's been a really long one. Let's move on to the fixtures for next week. Liverpool play Wolves away.
Mm-hmm.
Wolves recently has had a dip in form.
Yeah, but they won, I think.
Yeah, they've won recently, but their players, they've been conceding goals pretty much, and they need some defensive.
They need, but I don't think they're looking to spend. The problem again, similar with United or Leicester, you can say they lack depth.
Yeah,
Playing
the same side
when they play midweek and they come in back to the Premier League, it's fatigue for them.
Yes.
It's either the other way. The reason they lost in that FA Cup was I think they lack depth, and the players look tired right at the end. The man should watch out for. I mean, two players aren't performing the way they did last season. That is Jota and Jimenez. One of the players who stood up this season is Adama Traore.
Yeah, but Jimenez recently has started really scoring this match.
Yeah, he's scoring, but has to find consistency like he was last season. But it's going to be tough, and Adama Traore is one of the players who I think Liverpool has to watch out for.
Definitely. And United are going to Burnley, I believe.
Yeah, United going away. I think.
It's at Old Trafford.
It's at Old Trafford, but I expect United to win.
Even after recent.
Yeah, I mean Burnley. Yes, they have found form, but going away, still have question marks over Sean Dyche. So I still go for a Liverpool win, and I'll go for United win as well.
And City are playing away Sheffield. Sheffield just recently.
It's going to be tough. I don't know.
Sheffield is still
right
at the edge.
I often get this
out of the top.
Often get United and City predictions wrong, but City, we thought they'd win, and they were about to win, and then
but I predicted Palace to score still.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Obviously every time I hear City playing so and so team, City are always favorites, but Sheffield are a tough team. It's either going to be a draw or City win. I mean Sheffield can win, but still it's City. Guardiola wants to win.
Definitely, I feel the same.
Should win.
Sheffield,
otherwise the gap will increase a lot.
Yeah, if there is any side that can break down Sheffield is Manchester City.
Yeah, but like you said, Sheffield played very well at the Etihad last time. I mean, just a month ago.
Definitely. So it's going to be a good game again, and they drew against Arsenal this week as well, and they're still hanging around.
Yeah, away. So they're doing very well.
They're doing very well. So let's see. Let's see in the upcoming weeks what happens, especially in the transfer market, and whether what we've predicted that Liverpool has won the league, whether that covers or not. Because now I believe they only need 9 wins, provided nobody else drops any more points.
Yeah, I mean,
if they drop more points,
teams are very generous. They're giving us a helping hand. They're saying, no, you first, you deserve it. 30 years, haven't won the league. Sounds very depressing. So go ahead, we'll lose.
People have been born, debuted for their clubs, and then retired, and Liverpool didn't.
Yeah, you see, even I've become old and haven't seen them won. So
so I guess that's about it for the video.
That's about it, guys. Thank you so much. I know this was a very long video, but we've covered 3 teams in this one. So once again, thank you so much for the views we get.
Yes.
And your support, but do subscribe, do let others know. I mean, you can follow us on and share on Facebook as well as YouTube.
Yes. And do leave us your comments.
Yeah, do leave comments. I mean, that is something we're missing. I mean, we get the views in, but we're not, even the likes, but we're not getting comments. That is how we can improve. I mean, if it's two-way communication, if we get some feedback, we'll learn and improve, and we'll know what other topics and things we should discuss and talk about.
And also, if you guys feel that you guys can help us in some way, we're still looking for a good editor.
If you want to be part of the show, let us know what club you support, and we'll see. We'll come up with a topic accordingly. We'd love to have fans with us and engage in a good football discussion.
Definitely. All right, everyone, we're signing off for today.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.